not because it's like some like big game changing thing. It just made me happy.
It's a game over. Okay. Welcome to the most something
of right? That thing that we do. That's something else.
Welcome to the most illustrious podcast out there.
You still haven't figured out what he says about our podcast?
No. Stop! I'm doing an intro.
I know.
Man, we just lost like 15,000 listeners just by you interrupting us.
My bad.
I know we do have 15,000 listeners. This podcast that we don't have a title of is a podcast of a podcast of We're Alive Descendants, which is chapter 8 or episode 8, whatever that is.
Chapter
8.
Chapter
story 2 of 3. Titled Game Over. That's really easy to remember because it's Game Over. Yeah. Game Over. If you are in this podcast and you're listening to it, but you haven't listened to that episode or that chapter or that story, maybe you should go back and listen to that first and then come back. We're still going to be here. I promise. My name is AJ.
Ace.
Wakka.
Welcome. All right. Man, we have a lot of things. Actually, I don't even know if we have a lot of things to talk about in this podcast.
There's just a lot of action.
This whole chapter has been pretty jam-packed with something after another.
Right.
This one, it's pretty straightforward, but there's still so much that goes on. Because I feel like when people are traveling and there's a little bit of information being thrown back and forth, like there's only so much you can talk about. But when there's all the action and all the running and the shooting and the stabbing and the flipping, and there's just so much more because there's so much more playing in your head.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I like what you did there, playing with your head, because you know what happened to that last part of this story. You know exactly what happened to that, and we're gonna talk about it for sure. But before we get there, man, this episode, I like what Ace said. It's not like a lot of things that happen, but all the points, all the boxes that you're trying to look for in a story is in there, information, action-packed field, and storyline, conversation, comedy, suspense, all of that is in this story. I'm sorry. I was struggling saying that. It's in this story. Okay. You guys ready for this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. We start off with Alex and Dot. I love that we didn't jump around in people. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. They're doing very well in like nailing out each story piece by piece, because for a minute it was kind of confusing because they had to start everybody's story, but they had to start them all around the same time. They're like, hey, all this is happening simultaneously. Now that all of that is set, every time we jump into somebody else's story, we're like, okay, this is like within an hour of everything else.
Right.
So now everything's set. So now they're like, okay, well, that's done. Now we're going to go to here and do almost an entire part of just one or two people. And then that's it.
Yeah. And we don't like jump back. We don't jump back around to the same characters again. It's like right now just the group A, like the solid just group A.
Yeah, and I think like the next part is gonna start with the next chapter is gonna start with like group A and then grow into group B and then it's good. Like then there'll be a little bit more jumping again.
Right.
Because with Game Over, things are wrapping up. You know that at least this small part is wrapping up.
Right.
Here's one beauty thing. Since you mentioned that, it's not part of my script. It's not part of our notes. But now that you mention it, right? It's crazy. So it's starting Descendants when these kids got abducted, right? We do not care. Let's be honest. We do not care what happened to Group B and Group C. None of those matters to us. We just want to know what happened to Group A. Now the progression of the story happened. We was like, I want to know what happened to everybody.
Right,
what the heck happened to Bert? He was with Boar. Like what?
Yeah, Group B. Now that they're there, you want to know everything that's going on. Yeah. Group C, you care a little less about because they're not in Prim.
Yeah,
but they're all information.
Right.
They're literally Group C is just there to throw a twist.
Yeah,
right.
Well,
that's all they are.
Because now it's time for Pegs to maybe confront Ruth and what's his face?
Dean,
confront them and ask them, hey, so this family thing, what's going on? It's like you are so curious and you are so gossipy that you want to know what is going on.
I want to hear how Dean learned how to pick locks, and I want it to be something stupid. I want it to be something obnoxiously stupid. He's like, was trying to see this girl, and so I learned how to pick the lock. And then
funny.
I got caught. They locked me in my room. I learned how to break out, and then I learned how to pick her lock so we could see each other. Like, I want to be something like obnoxiously stupid because it just fits him. Because everything about his character is stupid but very fine pointed. Like, because now, like, after the last chapter, we know that there's professionalism there. We know that his stupidity is partially an act, kind of like Angel's. He was a little goofy, but it was partially an act. He was actually very... I think part of his goofiness was him just trying not to be a family member.
It's being meticulous. He's like totally meticulous with all the things that he's doing.
Exactly.
But, yeah, man. It's like all of these groups. Now you want to know what's happening, especially, you know, with Bert and Boar, and then the group B kind of
they're together, like,
right, and then group B split. Now you have the group B/1 and group B/2.
3.
You know,
No, it's 1, 2, and 3 because it's Bert,
right,
and then it's Riley, Riley and Mara, and then it's Kelly and Victor.
Yep. So
they're
like,
literally split.
All split up.
There are two groups. Sorry, actually, there are 3 groups in Prim between the animals, the animal pack, Group A and Group B, and Group A and Group B are split into 3 groups each.
Yep. Yeah.
And then it's almost like the family in there is as well, because the Boar doing her own thing, Walrus doing his thing, and then the rest of the pack are working whatever they're doing. So it's almost like 3 groups of 3 all doing 3 different things.
So now it's not the point is it's not just Group
nuts.
A. Yeah, it's not just Group A now that we're trying to figure out. And what we know in the latter part of this episode, it's kind of like we can actually kind of breathe now what's happening between all these 3 groups. But before we go there, let's talk about the beginning. let's go dive in it. We start off with Alex and Dot
waking up.
Yeah, waking up. They're actually waking up. So I gotta admit, I thought it was Vincent who's waking up at first. I thought when he waking up, it's like, I slept on the rock. I thought that was Vincent. I thought that was Vincent.
I thought it was... I realized it was Alex just because, I mean, Vincent doesn't really complain about that.
No.
Like, he complains about dumb stuff, not about real stuff.
Yeah.
And that was something real, and it's like, Alex doesn't know how to rough it.
No, because in my head, when he said, I slept on the rock, you know, thinking that they're in the cave, because they were in the cave, so it's like,
but they're already awake.
right,
yeah,
right.
They're already out doing
I
their
know,
thing.
and until I heard a girl's voice, so I rewinded
Quickly
it.
retracted.
Yeah, it's like, who is that girl? Why is there a girl in there? It's like, oh, it's Dot.
Dot.
Okay, that makes sense. This is
Oh.
Alex. Yeah.
Dude, it's funny though. Alex is not used to roughing it. Like, he's a soldier and stuff, but you can tell he doesn't have field experience. He has like his
that
little...
makes so much sense.
He has like his little trek. He's probably stayed in a Hummer. He's probably stayed in a chopper. But I don't think he's ever had to actually rough it like that.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. And then it's a complete opposite of Dot, because Dot is like
That's
completely
her whole
filled.
life.
Yeah.
That's her whole life.
For
She
real.
doesn't know what it's like to sleep in a
all the
house.
night.
Yeah. It's like in that one scene in Blindside. I've never had one. What?
Oh my
A room? A bed.
Dude, that hurts.
Yeah,
That hurts.
it does hurt. Let's talk about when Alex is trying to make Dot talk again.
Can't you say more than just one word?
I know. Like,
Dude, she was getting frustrated.
She was?
Like,
She was trying.
yeah, Dot has like the greatest character development up to now, and all she can say is one word. It is crazy how well they are doing with her.
yeah.
She is able to convey so much emotion, so much of what's going on, that you literally hear 3 letters
Yep.
and know
Yep.
to about a 70 to 80% accuracy what's going on.
Yeah. And still a mystery why that only word, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's not like a little kid, because little kids can make other sound, you know what I mean? But for her, it's ingrained in her system and in her brain and her vocab that she can only say Dot. It's almost like a disability.
It has to be some kind of intensive trauma.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, if you think about it, like, Skittles lost his mind, and he couldn't function until much, much, much later.
Right.
After having to deal with many people. It was through conversations with other people he was finally able to kind of function.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dot is now going through that. And now she's finally like kind of trying to get her through her version of the trauma.
Yeah, for a bigger group, because I mean, we all know Dot and Will. There's something going on there. There's more than like a friendship. What do you call this? Fellowship going on
between those two.
Between the two of them.
There's a little bit of a situation.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Dot.
Dot.
Shoot. Okay.
But it does raise the point of like how Will has probably seen her before.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she's been a slave there for a while,
yeah,
like he's probably actually seen her, and that might be like kind of what led to the excitement of her showing up at his work.
Yeah.
But okay, so we can get through into this while Alex and Dot were kind of going through. We realized like Dot, with her survival skills, is very smart. They're very thirsty.
Yes.
And she immediately goes to a cactus.
Yeah. Yes.
And she knows exactly which cactuses to go for, so that way they don't die, get poisoned, stab themselves in the throat. Like all the above, where they can actually get this cactus juice.
It just makes me wonder that she made during her time when she was in the fallen city of Angel, wherever she was raised in, she may have encountered people that had survival skills and then departed after that.
Or she might have just tested it herself, like to survive. That's what she did.
City of Fallen Angels.
I think she started with a group, and over time, they died. So she learned these skills, and she's taking those skills from when she was, much younger, and had to carry those forward. And then now, for however many years she probably has been alone, and that's probably losing them is probably what caused that trauma for Dot.
That
makes so much sense.
Now, Casey, knowing your history and being in the military, have you done this before? I feel like this is more like a personal experience for you. I feel like
the cactus.
Yeah, I feel like you've been so thirsty and you break a cactus in half. Because it's true. I mean,
and poked himself. Like Alex.
Poked himself. Yeah, because it is true. Like this whole thing is not a fantasy. Fan fiction kind of idea. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Specific round cactus, you break it in half and you can drink whatever is in it. Wonder what it tastes, because I bet you it's not water.
No, it's definitely some kind of cactus juice. It's very watery from what I have heard.
Yeah.
But kind of like like peaches, they're very watery. Yeah. But they definitely have that flavor.
Yeah, because coconut, right, Islander? Coconut is not. I'm just kidding. We're both Islanders. Like, coconut is not. It's not water, but it also doesn't have like a specific taste, like sweet or bitter or anything like that. It's just the coconut water is different.
It has a flavor of its own.
Yeah. I feel like cactus juice will be kind of the same, not the same taste as coconut,
right? But that kind of
now I'm
variety.
Curious.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Okay, let's see.
We don't have cactus in Michigan, Wakka. It's winter right now.
Let's say
I'm just curious.
You have to go back home. Try and track that down.
It's true.
Make a pit stop on the way back to Cali.
Yeah. So now Alex is looking around and realized. Go ahead.
Well, they say something first. They say that they're pretty far. That they've made. That they're pretty far from Prim now.
Yep.
They think they're far enough away. Is what he says.
Because they're going on the road.
And so so it's like, how far did they actually go? Because that means they almost just explicitly traveled that night, unless there was that little bit of time jump that kind of sounded like from when they woke up to when they got water.
Yes.
But like, how far do you think they traveled? Like, probably a few miles at least.
Yeah. Well, because they ran out of water.
Yeah.
Like
he was drinking the last of it.
Yeah, knowing both of them, Alex being a soldier and Dot being Dot, they would be saving as much water as they can.
Yeah, but they are walking through the desert.
Right, but
so it's like only so
they're
much
not just
save.
normal. They're not just normal human beings. That that was just drink it. But yeah.
And then so then Alex saw some street signs.
Yeah, and he said everything is looking familiar. So that means they're back in California now, right? They're not in Vegas anymore. They're back in California.
Yeah, not just that. Like, Alex knows exactly where he is.
Yep.
So that means he has made this route before.
Yeah.
With the military.
Yeah, and he said, because that's when he asked Dot, can you help me cross the water? Because he's like, the bridge is gone. Can you help me cross the water? You going to say something, Wakka?
No,
You're trying to think of where they're at?
Yeah, because I'm getting a vibe feeling from this portion is that this is the very spot in Gold Rush at the end.
Oh.
You know, the bridge breaking. The
Oh,
bridge
you're
broken,
right.
And then there's that water where the truck fell.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do think you're right. I
Okay.
100% believe
Let's
that.
go. Let's go.
I was like, I thought y'all will connect that.
So what?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that.
I wonder if he sees Gloria.
Is that you?
Is that you? You're alive? Which is funny because Alex probably have no idea who that lady is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, he would because he heard the story of Gold Rush.
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
were like the whole story of Gold Rush was explicitly being told to him and to
That's right. That's
Nick.
right.
Like they learned that. That's why we
Yeah.
heard it.
Yeah, but you're right, Wakka. Good catch, bro. Good catch. You know, because Ace and I talked about this. Story Survival's definitely like the peak right now.
Right.
You know, of All We're Alive. And then we kind of brush off a little bit of the Gold Rush and Lockdown a little bit because, like, in comparison to those three podcasts, All We're Alive podcasts, we listened to Story of Survival multiple times.
Right,
More
right.
than Lockdown and Gold Rush, which is ironic because Lockdown and Gold Rush only has a few episodes compared to.
But that's part of
Story
why we
Survival.
haven't watched it or listened to it as much because we normally listen to Story of Survival because we're trying to kill time.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We're trying to kill more than 5-6 hours.
Right, right.
Which I believe it's like 4 hours and then 6 hours or 6.5 hours. So you're looking at you could technically listen to all the other stuff in a day.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Now with the Story Survival, I mean, you could, but good
No,
luck.
you can't. You physically
No,
can't.
I mean, you can fast forward to like 5 times.
and just then you're
That's
not
true.
listening to it. You're just,
yeah, yeah.
Just,
But
bang, 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 bang,
I love that. I really love that Casey's connecting Gold Rush and Lockdown now. You know what I mean? It's not just Story of
He's
Survival.
nailing hammer
Yes.
points on it. He's like, there's that one, there's that
That's
one,
right.
there's that one.
Yep.
It's
That's
not.
right.
They're not subtle hints anymore.
Nope.
He's
Nope.
dropping very thick clues that, bam, there
Yep.
it is. Bam,
Yep.
there it is.
Now, if you're just if you're just a casual listener to We're Alive, you only gone through one time of Story Survival, Lockdown, and Gold Rush.
Maybe
You're probably
twice.
not gonna get it, or maybe twice.
Yeah.
You're probably not gonna be like, oh, there's a bridge. Okay, it's gone, whatever. But
Yeah, right. Yeah.
but
'Cause-
now it's like, that's in Gold Rush. That's gotta be in Gold Rush. you
Yeah,
know?
especially because that is such a minor thing. It's
Yeah.
not something that you look at and you're like, oh, they're highlighting this. We need to know this.
Yeah, it's not like the Tower.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
You're like even Dunbar. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
highlighted the heck out of
Right,
Dunbar.
yeah, right.
They highlighted the heck out of the colony, the
Right.
mall,
Right, the arena.
the furniture store.
Yeah.
Like they highlight these things.
yeah.
They run over them 2 or 3 times. The bridge was it was set at the end.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Yeah.
it.
that was it.
That's it. That's it.
And they're like,
oh
okay,
man,
done,
that was a
bye.
good catch. Yeah.
So we can agree that where Alex is going is to their to that hideout.
Oh,
I don't think that's where he's intentionally going, but I think that's where I think he is near there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he
Um,
said, "I know a place." I know
So
a
right
place.
after he believes he knows where he's going, asks for some help across the water. Dot kind of gives him a
Die.
Yeah, I feel like Dot is like, again, I just carried you swimming,
and
I wanna
this
do
water is
again.
rushing a lot more
Yeah.
from how it sounds because you can
Yeah.
hear it in the back.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Alex and I know I'm going to backtrack a little. Do you think he understands fully what Dot is saying now? Because
He
does
says
mention
he understands
50%.
like 50%.
Yeah,
I think
well,
he
more
understands a
than
little more than
50%.
50. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It really depends. Like, a lot. If I'm not mistaken, a lot in like the Japanese culture, when you're speaking Japanese, you kind of have to know the subject to understand what is being said. You have to know the topic, otherwise the words sound like a jumbled mess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think it's a lot like that. If you guys are both on the same conversation, he can understand that upper 70%.
Yeah.
If he's trying to figure out what subject she's trying to start, he's in that like 40-50.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, I agree.
that's exactly how I think
that
of
makes
that.
sense. That makes sense.
I agree. Because even I listening to Dot, I can like trying to guess what she's trying to say.
Exactly.
You know, but Alex is nailing almost all of them, and
Right.
you know, like he's having conversation with her. You know,
Yeah.
like back and forth. But yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly.
Like that. Do you guys have anything else for Alex and Dot?
I got
Go ahead.
nothing else for them.
Okay, let's
I'm
go
excited
to
for what's coming.
Yeah, let's go back.
Oh.
Not go back. Let's go to Lisa and Vera.
Yeah, so this
that's
was a very
right.
short part.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're still trying to climb
Yep.
and escape. That was Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill's
Yep.
crew.
And the rest of the tribal that he now leading.
Yeah, his tribe.
Yeah.
So they're climbing up. Lisa's, her arms are hurting. She can't keep climbing. Vera, move it, soldier. Like it's been the
Yeah.
very cut and dry what it has been
Right.
this entire
Right.
time with those
Yep.
two.
Right.
The entire time, nothing has changed with their dialogue, with
Yeah.
their situation. You heard the same thing in the first 5 minutes of them entering the arena. You're hearing it the next day.
Yeah. Yo, is it bad for me to say that I've been so annoyed with Lisa, and I could be completely wrong with her, okay? I could be like, I've been leading you guys to a wrong path when it comes to Lisa. She might be the savior of real life Descendants. Not Nick. She might be, but I don't know. But for now, is it wrong for me to assume or to say this, that when you watch TV shows or movies and someone is about to die and holding back the whole group, and they're like, just go, just leave me here. You feel sad and like, no, save that person. This
Yeah.
would be worth it. But when Lisa said just go, I'm like, Vera, dude,
Go.
seriously, just go, just go. Like
I had my whole rant on her last time. I'm still fighting that. Like, I went off last time, but this time it's like, okay, I'm trying to get back in the boat of like,
Hold on.
she's got to have her moment. It's got to come.
He went off so much about Lisa that he became the title of the podcast.
I know, I saw that. I was like, oh no. All my defense, my months of defending her out the window in one pod.
Oh man.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, oh no, man.
But yeah,
It's all over.
it's all over.
I'm
And
sorry,
man,
Lisa.
Man, it's like when she said that, it's like, Lisa, it's not even honorable. It's a given. Just leave her. This is not an honor system anymore. It's like common sense.
This is you wanting to give up, and you just so happen to have. If it was Alex there, he would have probably been like, okay, bye.
Right.
Right?
Like
Oh, man.
he is very much a don't leave another soldier behind.
Yeah.
All three of them are very much like that. None of them seem like they want to leave anybody. But, I think if it was Vincent would have been like, I want to help you, but you're really getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
You say
Dot
that-
would have said, you're becoming a liability. Dot.
She will say the full sentence and then edit with dot.
Okay, wait. You said that Alex would not leave anybody? Is that what you're saying?
He very much has the personality of, I don't want to leave anybody.
Well,
but
don't
he
forget-
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember, in the beginning, he had the
Yes.
idea to
Yes.
leave Lisa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did.
He did
Yeah.
a smart move.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will defend on that is it was Cole.
It was
Fair enough.
That
But-
was literally the most terrifying zombie known.
Oh
right
my
now.
gosh.
Infected. I am
infected.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Infected.
I've been playing a lot of zombie games lately. They're starting to infect me.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's
They're
go.
getting to me.
So they ended up on top of the mountain or whatever
So
they're climbing.
they cause a rock slide.
Yep.
That is actually so crucial. They just so happened to get loose rocks that
Yeah.
fall.
Vera said, yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah. And then so they cause that little bit of a rock slide and it makes the entire group fall and have to find a new way up.
Yep.
That's huge. That doesn't mean that they're done. They still haven't had their full confrontation with them, so I know that's coming.
Right.
Yep.
They're gonna have a confrontation
Yeah.
with them. They haven't really had a confrontation with the Skinwalkers.
No,
So-
not yet. Well, yeah.
They did, but they did. They saw the coyotes, the scouts. They saw the scouts.
Yes.
And if we've learned anything about We're Alive, is scouts mean oh no.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single time we've seen a scout and then not something follow.
Yeah. Remember, Scratch and Latch, they're both scouts.
Yeah, exactly. And what started from that?
Yeah, exactly.
So they cause that, and then they find that little town, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Another model town.
Like a
or
little
whatever.
settlement kind of thing.
Yeah.
They think it's the exit. So they did say that. But they also believe that is the other tribe's hideout. And they're like, well, that would makes sense that that tribe is being hidden basically on, or the exit's being hidden in a tribe's base. So they immediately start masking themselves again, hoping to recreate what they did before.
Yes.
They cover themselves in mud again, and this time they're also using the pelts, the coyote pelts.
Yep, and it never fails. Lisa complained again. Are we doing this again?
Like, it's such a setup for like an Angel and Riley situation when they had to cover themselves. But I'm like, man, this is just if Riley kept complaining the whole time.
Oh, it got in my mouth. She said
like she did. It was 100,000 times worse.
Oh, yeah.
And she still kept it together better.
Yes. I agree.
Like, she was
So
broken.
Yes. And because of that moment, we had the whole awkward but sweet, moment with Angel and Riley in the bathroom while cleaning themselves. That was awkward, but it was fun.
Bet you wish she's told me not to pee.
Did just look.
Hey, it's a little cold in here. You didn't have to tell me. It's like, oh no, poor Angel.
Do you think that made it to the diary?
I think it was in the because you know how they had like two versions of the story. I think that was like basically the higher ups version of the
this story. Like
that
Riley would write that down. Will write that down. You think?
Oh yeah, because here's the thing: the entire story was told.
No, I'm talking about seeing Angel naked.
Oh, like if she wrote it?
Yeah. Do you think she will write it?
I think what you heard is exactly what was written.
Gotcha.
I don't think anything was really said that wasn't written somewhere. Because the whole premise of Story of Survival, the entire time was Michael reading it.
Yeah.
That was the whole story. It was him reading a collection and put together version of the journals. I think he had the archived version of the journals that he was reading, because afterwards he said that a lot of that was taken out for several reasons, such as Nick's safety.
That makes sense.
That's right.
That makes sense.
And so I believe that because here's the thing, like, especially all the moments between Lizzie and Nick, they wouldn't have been able to be like, oh, I think something like this happened, because they're both gone.
Yeah, that's awkward.
So everything.
Imagine reading that part. Oh, okay.
What part?
Reading the whole,
Angel.
Like Riley seeing his penis.
I think it would be, but I think it wouldn't be, because it like still shows their humanity to it. So like it would almost be like a touching moment too. Though.
Yeah, but still, I feel like if I'm reading that part, it's like, all right, I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go right here. Okay, what happened next?
Depends who you were. Michael would have been like, why am I reading this?
I know, exactly.
But he would have read every word. Tanya read every word.
And then stopped and looked at each other and like, oh my gosh.
Not only did Tanya read every word, she retyped every word.
Let's go.
So she knew word for word the Story of Survival.
Oh, That's funny. That's funny.
All right, well, so what happened there? Did they try to climb down again?
No.
Nope. So right after that, they started heading towards the town, and we flipped the script, and now we're with Nick and Vincent.
Nick and Vincent. Right. This is
where things got good.
This is
where things got good.
The highlight of the story.
Man, this ending part.
Oh, dude,
highlight of the
so
episode.
It was good after good after great after great.
Yes.
Like it literally just was on an upward ramp, and I got so excited.
Yeah.
Like literally, the final moment of the chapter is exactly how I felt.
That's right. And we started off, according to Nick's dad, we started with the bang. Nick said...
He says go out with the bang.
Go out with the bang. Yeah. Nick said, you know what? I've decided I don't like snow. Bring me back to California. Yeah. This reminded me of Wakka.
I was saying the same thing. He was like, Nick and I think the same thing. Nick and I think the same thing.
So much. He said...
I went to Cali once. I'm like, give it back.
Yeah, bring me back to California. And then here comes Vincent just breaking everything. You know, Prim is like in the border of California.
He's like, we're like right off the border.
And he's like, you know what I mean?
He's like, shut up.
You know what I mean.
It's not the same, man.
Because Wakka had the same thing. I'm moving out of America. I'm going back to California.
Okay. It was a messed up of words. Okay. English is not my best suit. Okay.
I'm leaving America. Okay. I'm going to California. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That was hilarious. All right.
So what happened next?
Next, please. So one of the first things is they find the cave. They find a cave.
This is what I really like. This part, like, I wonder what they saw.
The description. He described it well
I know,
too.
man.
Yeah.
Talking about the intricate ice sculptures and
Yes.
shapes,
Yes.
which mean nothing to them, meaning that they're probably more symbols that they use for their language.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I'm like, that
hold
is
on.
crazy.
Before you guys go there, I'm gonna say this. So remember when we began this podcast of Descendants, one of the probably a struggle on how they gonna do it is because story survival is narration. So you have people narrating what they are seeing and things like that.
Yep.
But since it's Descendants, nobody's narrating. Now, how are they gonna do that? So they did it by saying, they made it so sound natural too. It's not like, you know, those old radio stations. Oh, I'm stabbed. Now I'm stabbed. Oh, I'm gonna die. Now I'm dead. You know, it's not like that. But they do it like they say things like, "Oh, look at these things," and then they describe it. You know.
Yeah.
it was so
I agree.
nice.
Yeah.
At first, I thought Vincent was gonna. It looked so, and I thought he was gonna say ugly because knowing his personality.
Yeah.
Then he comes out, I was like,
It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, and that really highlights exactly like what it was. It had to be one of, like, you know how you see in the dead of winter, you'll like see on like Instagram and
Right.
Twitter and everything, like you'll see stuff such as like those like snow castles and like ice castles and caves that they'll build like around like the polar caps and stuff like that.
Right,
Like they'll
right.
build these intricate, beautiful things out of ice and snow.
Yeah.
That's exactly where my mind went.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think it was like Lindsay Sterling's Crystallize. Like
That's
she
right.
danced
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think it was Crystallize or it was or Four Elements or something like that. It was one of those.
Yeah.
She's
But I remember
dancing in
that
like
one.
that little like ice hallway, and I'm like
Yeah.
with like the
Bro.
lights and stuff. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm even seeing like not like the RGB and LED lights necessarily,
Yeah.
but I'm seeing light in it because the lights that's reflecting off the middle of the day.
Yep.
Like
Okay.
I'm seeing those things. I'm like, that must shine and look so beautiful.
Yeah.
Just thinking about the sculptures probably resemble something of their women because their women are the hunters. So it's probably something hunting related. The letters are probably something going around, like saying like the palace or the base or the kingdom, like they're like it's marking their territory.
Yeah.
For the Yetis to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. You know, I was wondering, does anything you put like, if you put ice and snow in it or anywhere it is, it's gonna consider beautiful? I mean, in nature wise.
It can. I mean,
Because I'm trying to picture. How about other nature looking things?
I mean,
I get the forest.
like, okay, so have you driven, like, have you been on the road and you know those snow with black, dirty stuff in it? I
All
don't
the
see that.
slush and
yeah,
smut.
I don't think those are beautiful. Those are disgusting.
Fair enough.
you don't
fair
put it in
enough.
the city. That's pretty
That
much
makes
it.
sense.
If
That
you
makes
put it in
sense.
nature, it can look very beautiful. If you put it in the city,
Yeah.
it's like, why are we here?
Yeah,
That
but when
makes sense.
but when it's naturally there, like for example, like snow on trees, those are beautiful. Like if you see
Yeah.
like range of trees with snow on them,
I think it's the
snow caps.
purity of like that white.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
that white
It's
purity
yeah.
that you just
good.
can't fake.
You know, yesterday I was just asking Buggy and
AJ. whatever my name is.
Okay,
Something like
and I
that.
was like, you know what? Why white? I mean, it could have been any other color, but why white? And I tried to imagine everything else being another color, like pink or blue or red. Like, oh, that looked weird.
Because it's not a color. It's literally the absence of color.
Okay.
No color.
Yeah, so it's not diluted or anything by an actual color.
I see. So white.
So when white is called like the purity color, it's because it literally is no color.
That's right.
Okay, makes sense. That makes sense.
Then white people are colorless.
I can't say that.
Oh, you're right. You're black and white. Okay, so
like a
when
panda.
they're in the cave, right, and they will start arguing. Of course, we're gonna be in the cave, and Nick said, "Look at that camera. It's gonna be in that spot."
Yeah, they're like,
Let's
"That's
start
the
watching
exit.
it.
It's
This
in
is
there."
gonna be
Definitely
it.
it. Yeah.
It's gonna be it. So they started walking, like looking at this whatever in the cave, and they said it's beautiful and describing it. And then we heard some infected coming towards them.
Yeah, pretty
Right?
quick too.
Pretty quick. They were throwing things at them, which is the icicles. and
Yeah,
things
they're
like that.
taking the icicles that they use for armor and throwing them.
Yep. Nick said something, but I couldn't figure out what he said.
What?
You know, like the first throw, and then he hit the wall, and you hear the whoosh breaking. He said something. I think he said ice or something like that. I couldn't figure out.
That?
No. Right after you got right after the ice hit the wall. I don't figure. I tried to listen to it multiple times, blast the audio. I couldn't tell. It's probably not that important. I feel like it's just like
it's that crossfire. Yeah, it's that crossfire kind of like reaction.
Yeah,
word.
It's like oh crap, or it's like oh they're there or ice and things like that. But I couldn't figure out what he said.
Like I know they like yelled "get inside," but yeah, and then Vincent was very adamant about still not using ammo while getting chased.
Right.
I think at this point, part of the reason he doesn't want him to use ammo is because he doesn't trust him. I think it's still a little bit of trust. I know that he's trying to be smart and just save ammo because he's like, that's a last resort. But I think the reason why he wants it to be such a last resort situation is because to this point, Nick hasn't made a good shot. Like, he shot something at point blank and it wasn't breaking the skin.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, he's like, well, if he can't hit a shot, well, at least he can like shove the barrel in their face and then work.
Yeah.
So I think part of it's a trust thing. Part of it's like that we need that just in case. It's kind of that mixed feel.
Yep.
Thankfully it doesn't hurt them at this point, but he probably regrets it pretty shortly after. But then we'll never not trust Nick again.
Right.
So
speaking of not trusting, they saw a clue, which Nick thought it wasn't a clue. Nick thought is language of the infected, and then Vincent said no, it's a clue. It's the key. The key is a cold heart. And then freaking Vincent comes in and is like, what the F does that even mean? He said, oh, it means never get too attached to anyone.
Such a Vincent answer.
And then Nick's like, no, I think it's a clue.
No, duh, it's a clue. It's like, oh, come on, Nick.
So knowing Casey and the way Story of Survival works and the way We're Alive works, I think we're going back to this never get too attached to anyone. I feel like it's going to play out something in the story of Vincent.
I was going to say, it's something, it's too ominous. It's a freaking omen. It's a setup. It's a foreshadow.
Yes.
It is any word you want to use for it, and I'm not excited about it.
Yes.
Although, moments later, he does tease that. He teases exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because they finally start getting swarmed after finding this clue. Vincent gets grabbed.
Yeah.
Almost immediately gets grabbed and starts getting taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, this is the first time in this series, where they've had that crucial life or death moment. This single thing that can be prevented has to happen perfectly. And of course, in all of story survival fashion, it comes down to a single long shot that can kill both the infected or your comrade. How many moments has there been where something similar adjacent to this has been? And what it came down to is Nick was able to focus, he was able to breathe, calm down while Vincent's panicking. And Vincent probably sees the gun coming up, aimed at them, and I literally picture him being taken away. Like, you know how you hold someone in a hostage situation, like you barely see the captor,
and it's dark in there because it's a cave.
Exactly. So all of this together, like, it's all against him. He has to hit the perfect shot. He hits it. Vincent is literally too stunned to properly react and defend himself. He runs back and I kind of pictured it as Nick running and grabbing him. And he's like, get up, like, we gotta go. He's like, you saved me.
I could not believe you actually saved me.
This relationship is about to turn into Angel Kalani. Like, because it was that life or death, like, I can leave you and go. Or I can make the impossible, stupid decision and it work. And that is exactly what happened. And so now, like...
Well, because even before that, he was already impressed with him. You know, he's, like, taking his shots like, oh, okay. Wait, do you even need me? He's already impressed.
And so, like, they're in that good... Like, he's in that good spot. He's like, oh, you can shoot. But now it's like... That's, like, crime shooter.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Yes,
that
that's
is-
all I thought
oh
about.
my
That
Gosh.
is Bert in his marksman
Dude.
contest days.
Dude, Casey,
that is-
that sound effect though. Whew,
That
man,
whole slow mo.
dude, I can we talked about this before. It's like fear of how do you say it? Theater in mind. Theater.
Oh, fear.
Theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Theater
Yeah.
of the-
You're thinking of the actual.
The
Yes,
the phrase.
yes,
I was like,
but
what are you talking
man,
about?
dude, I could picture it, him focusing, and then pull the trigger, and then that sound effect of the bullet. Bam! It hit the infected. Like you can picture all of them in your head.
Have you played those sniper games?
Yes!
Like literally
It's
that.
literally that.
It's
Yes.
you're focused in, and you're following the bullet all the way through until
shoot,
it hits.
It was so good. It was so good. It was well done.
It was really well pictured out.
Yeah,
It
I
was
had
so
a
good.
boner. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It was,
So-
it was really good, dude. He's like, I have in my notes, Vincent taking. Oh, I'm sorry. He couldn't talk properly. He
Yeah.
was stuttering. He was. I feel like his legs are still jello because he
Oh,
was
yeah.
so scared
Mine
of
would
what's
be.
happening. Yeah.
And I don't think that to date anyone has made that shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
The closest.
Well, yeah. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say the closest one that almost happened is with Bert, but people kept getting stop him. You know when Ink got in the,
But that was
the
close.
apartment.
That
yeah,
was close range, anyways.
Yeah.
Because this was like a mid to far range shot.
Yeah, there was that other shot where he was in the window and he was trying to aim with his
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
other shot.
Yeah.
But I think he was still kind of wasted while the guy was running and he was
It's-
aiming.
It's when he had the shakes.
Yeah,
Yep.
the shakes.
So, but this is what I mean. Nobody's been able to hit
Yep.
that shot.
Oh yeah, man.
I was gonna say the closest one that I can remember is when he hit Ink's hand.
Yeah.
During the setup.
Yep.
When they got set up for the ambush.
Yep.
With the
Yep.
cars.
Yeah, when it's
I
raining.
think that is to what I could recall in the moment. Like that was the closest.
Yeah.
And it's like he hit, but it wasn't a life or death situation for somebody. Mm-hmm. It was as crucial as Tanya getting dragged away,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was a much riskier
Yeah.
position. It was a much riskier shot.
I could say like Datu getting dragged away with Angel and and Riley in the arena.
But nobody made a shot.
Nobody made
That's
a shot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like nobody defended. Nobody pulled off that shot.
Yeah.
Nick, as of right now, has the most impressive shot in the whole show.
But we're not surprised though, because
No.
Nick trained him. I mean,
You
sorry,
mean
Bert.
trained him.
Bert trained
trained
him. Michael trained him.
Yep. And
Puck
Victor.
trained him.
Victor is there. Puck is there.
So like 3 veteran soldiers.
Yeah.
One of them is a crazy marksman.
Yeah.
We know that Michael is definitely above average, and Puck we think is above average.
Yeah.
We never really
Right.
get like a staple point of what he is. We get
Right.
he's in a lot of gunfights, but
Yeah.
they're never like those marksman shots. But we know that 3 crucial soldiers all personally trained him somehow, some way in that field.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he 100%
Yeah.
took it to heart and mastered it. We're now seeing why he got that marksmanship award
it was
from the
great.
Academy.
It was so
So
good.
good.
So good. That is way too good. All right.
We did miss one thing when they
yeah,
walked
yeah.
into the room, though. They found a throne.
They did find the throne.
A very beautifully designed chair, I believe is what they said. Their
Yep.
seat.
Yep.
You know, when
But-
they said the throne, all I thought about was the Game of Thrones throne.
I literally thought of Narnia, the White Witch's
yeah,
throne.
yeah.
Like that golden throne, like that
Yeah.
ice throne.
Yeah, we
That's
all
exactly
thought
what I
about.
thought of.
It's so funny. We all thought about 3 different fantasy thrones. So you guys, you went to Game of Thrones. You went to Narnia, and I went to Warcraft, the Frozen Throne. That's what I thought about.
Nice.
Because they were in the ice. You
Yeah.
know? So it's like a Frozen Throne.
The ice.
The White Witches. The
yeah.
White Witch. Yeah, that's right. And then you're the one who went to Swords Throne.
I mean, at least there's a bunch of snow
and
there.
it's an epic throne. Don't get me wrong. It was an epic throne. Yeah.
So, after the save,
Did you notice right after the save, Vincent's like, "No, you're not gonna one up me now. I'm gonna take the lead."
He's like, "Nah, you did your part. My turn."
yeah, it's my turn now. I know what I'm gonna do.
So they find the Queen Ice Walker.
yes.
They find the leader. Not only do they find the leader, Vincent immediately says, and there's the key.
There's the key.
I
Yeah. Well, because they went in the middle, right? And it goes to different tunnels, and then they found the light.
They found the way out with the padlock.
Yeah, with the padlock. So and Nick, I think it was Nick said it was the key after all.
Yeah, it's a literal key. It's not the figurative where like all the meet or anything like that.
Yes. And then they found the Ice Queen.
Right.
It was there. It was the heart. Is it a little? What do you guys think about the strategy that they did? And do you feel like it was too quick that they captured the queen right away?
I do and I don't. I think that there was probably something kind of set. I think it was like with all the fires and stuff that they were causing, all the mayhem and they were looping.
Yeah.
They were making runs. Vincent went for a very risky play and he ended up pulling it off.
Yeah.
This whole time, there hasn't really been a too easy or too hard situation. It's all been, oh, you did the big risk and it paid off.
Right.
Because I mean, as of right now, they're the second group to take a big risk. Mm-hmm. First group, they escaped.
Yeah.
They're out. They're out of everything though.
Yeah. The biggest risk.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone thought they died. The second risk, literally put his hand into the chest, the ice chest
queen.
cavity of the leader and ripped it out.
Yeah.
While Nick is saying like, yo, we gotta run.
Yeah.
How?
So they're just both pulling off these big risks and they're paying off because they're like, if we don't, we lose. Because they're being swarmed.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can take the time to take her down, take others down, and then try to go back for it.
Are you saying how did they do it?
No, because I'm putting like they got the clue up there, and the clue could have meant anything, but then they learned it's literal. Mm-hmm. How did they put the key in the queen's heart in it before they go?
They probably while it was captured, while it was being transported.
Yeah.
It was probably a necklace or something. Mm-hmm. My thought is it was probably a necklace, and then once they were in the snow area, they made the icy armor and stuff.
Okay.
So it was probably armor that was like kind of starting below her chest and probably like spiked up is kind of how I saw it, or spiked down.
Yeah.
And so what he probably did is he probably literally just broke through the ice and grabbed and pulled. Okay. That's where my mind goes with that.
That makes
well, because they did the same thing with the padlock. Because, with the fire that they
break
have.
It,
Yep. The fire and tried to melt it and all that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was crazy. And we kind of skipped over they talked about grab some cloth because they're trying to start a fire.
Yes.
Right?
Well, when they were running in.
Yeah, when they're running in. They start a fire and Vincent said, just grab those clothes. And Nick said, oh, this is from previous players that died.
So that means other people probably got there too.
Yeah. And we know those are not the clues now because they said, oh, there's some dead people in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So they started breaking and they got out.
Yes.
They completely got out.
Yeah, so they have to work together because the lock is frozen. So they turn it and they both pull together. They open the gate, slam it behind them. They're out.
Yeah.
They start moving down the tunnel to get away from the entrance because, they don't want to chance anything.
Yeah.
And then the episode ends in the exact way that my mind was running it all, with a thunderous applause from outside of the arena.
Yeah.
This is the second major applause we hear.
Right.
But this could have been like the major one that the girls heard.
Oh, so I saw with the I see what you're talking about. But Casey said in one of the posts, he said those applause are for
the clue they found.
Nick and Vincent finding the clue.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
that's what
it
Casey
was
said.
on the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were right about that one.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, so I don't know if you guys noticed this, the juxtaposition or the parallelism between what happened or the progression that happened with Nick and Vincent. They started with you cannot get any sentences from Vincent to they're finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah.
Grab this rope. Oh, this is what we're gonna do. Yes, that's exactly what we're gonna do.
They go full bromance now. They're gonna be the full bromance.
They did. It is like because they weren't in the same page in the beginning of the whole thing.
No.
You know. To now they're like, oh yeah, we're doing this, bro. This is gonna be great.
The mindset was like soldier versus rogue.
Yeah.
Like it's the guy that wants to sneak around, be really slick with everything, versus the guy that wants to be efficient and get everything done right.
Yeah.
And so like those are two very big battling mindsets, or can be.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, Vincent is the one that ended up kind of started leaning more towards soldier, as to where Nick kind of started leaning a little bit more towards the roguish side, because he's like, okay, we have to be a little smoother, but the soldier is what was working, and so Vincent was the one that was really making the pivots, and he's like, okay, we have to work as a team. You're gonna cover my back, I'm gonna take the lead, kind of thing.
Right.
And like they played it, and Nick is very good at playing the second soldier.
Yep.
He's very good at playing the one. He's like, my whole job is to make sure you don't go down. Like that's his only job, is to make sure you don't go down.
Right.
You make sure we get through it. I make sure you're able to get us through it.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
he played it.
Can you imagine if Vincent or Nick will leave the door open behind them?
Dude.
Yo.
And then that's it.
All of Prim will be in danger.
That's it. That's the end of Prim.
I don't think so. Because there is probably several guards waiting at the end of the one-way tunnel.
And I feel like there will be a safety,
There's probably another gate.
Yep, another gate there, and safety kind of precaution.
Almost like
Just in case.
the colony. That one gate.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep,
that makes
one
sense.
gate to another gate. Yeah. Well, because you kind of have to. You have very dangerous infected in there, and that gate is where the biggest hideout is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's like Queen's throne.
And as of right now, it looks like that at least of the 3 arenas we've seen, it looks like all 3 of them are doing that.
Right?
That all 3 of them are hiding them in an infected hideout.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotta be. I mean, to make it exciting.
Like we're not gonna get to see that for sure, probably ever from Waterworld, but we can assume it with the theme that's been going.
Mm-hmm. And with the clue that Lisa and Vera found, it's gonna be in the water. And you will see their leader there. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about with the Dot and Alex.
Yeah.
I'm talking about with Lisa and Vera.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be in the water. I think it's where the water, where the stream starts or whatever.
Gotcha.
Because I think it's going to be
behind like the waterfalls. You know, like
that's true. It could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Typical movie or TV show kind of trope, behind the waterfalls.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be somewhere in that town. They haven't really announced like where the water or what the water situation is for the town. So that's a good point though, because they're not far from. I mean, they had to have just come from the water to get all that mud.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And Lisa and Vera right now explored more than anybody else.
Yes.
You know, they found more places.
Maybe because I mean,
because now they found 2 towns.
Yeah, but I don't think there are towns or anything in Nick and Vincent's. It's all just trees, snow,
I guess you're right, because
hills.
there's no tribes in there. They don't have an infected that builds tribes. They just...
Yeah, they've gone through, but they went through both of the infected types. They did go through the Yetis, which seem a lot more nature, and they've gone through the Ice Walkers, Ice Crawlers, which are a lot more cave.
Yeah. But man, I cannot wait what's going to happen to Lisa and Vera.
They're the only ones left.
Yeah, let's do a prediction real quick. What's gonna happen to them? Someone's gonna die.
No,
they're both gonna survive.
You know what? I think this is where your moment for Lisa is gonna come out.
My moment?
My moment.
Oh, your moment.
The thing I've been fighting for 8 chapters.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
She's finally gonna have her moment. Is she gonna die having her moment?
She's gonna get hurt having her moment. I don't know about dying.
What
though.
if she turned to an infected? Because we haven't had that moment yet.
I still think she's a key character.
No, actually we do. The Cole guy, the other guy.
Cole.
Judd? Is he Judd?
Oh,
Judd. Judd that came.
Yeah. So we had that one time, but with this group we don't have that infecting someone yet.
I think that's gonna come in either next chapter or the chapter after.
Yeah. And then Cole, man, I want Cole to show up.
Oh my god.
He's been gone, bro. You've been gone, man.
He's been gone
quite a
too
while.
long.
Yeah, I don't want you to show up at all, but I need you to show up.
I don't want to see you, but I want to hear from you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You guys have any final thoughts? Anything that you want to say?
I got nothing. I got nothing right
I'm
now.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just ready to see what happens with the town and what's gonna go next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good catch with the bridge, Wakka. That was
Yes.
good.
I figured that y'all
No.
would put that
No.
together.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
at all.
Yeah, you're 100%. I have zero doubt in my mind that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's it for us. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Late. That was fun.